According to Pew Research Center in 2022, within the presidential election in 2020, only about 62.8% of eligible American voters participated within the presidential election. That ranks the United States 31st across world's democracies in voter turnout. Let's think about that. One of the greatest democracies Earth has ever seen had 4 out of 10 eligible American voters not show up on election day and remain silent and not use their right to vote. On a more positive note, Mount San Antonio College was awarded in 2024 by the California State Secretary the most student voters in the ballot bowl, with 690 student voters. That was more than 116 colleges within the state. That just shows us that at Mount SAC, we really do care about voting at a student level, and that every single one of our voices can be heard, and that even at a youth level, we can appreciate our right to vote. Today I'm going to be telling you 3 reasons why you should vote. First, I'm going to be discussing the white and black gap that is growing between voter turnout and how that is negatively impacting all of us. Then I'm going to talk to you about how every single individual vote matters. And lastly, I'm going to be talking to you about how even at a local level, voting can directly impact your community and yourself. We all like to think that our voices are all being heard. I think we can all agree that collectively it's better when every single person has a voice within the conversation. However, according to Brennan Center for Justice in March of 2024, in the last recent years, there's been a growing gap between black and white voter turnout. This negatively impacts every single one of us, as we want every single person's voice to be heard. And the people before us fought incredibly hard for every single group of people to be able to have the right to vote. And I think we should pay attention to 2 things about that. First, we should appreciate how much hard work people put in for every single group to be able to vote. And we should also appreciate that they must have been fighting for something that held a lot of weight and a lot of power, such as voting. It's a duty of us, every single one of us, to vote, as it protects all of our rights, and it protects our democracy, as our entire democracy is built off of representing every single group and every single minority group and everyone within our own country. Now that I've talked to you about why every single group of people should vote, I'm going to be telling you about how much your individual vote can impact our country and yourself. According to government facts in August 2025, in the 2000 election, when President George W. Bush won the presidency, he won it by 537 votes from Florida. Then in World War II, the military draft was approved by 203 to a 202 vote. That means that one vote changed the lives of thousands. We should pay attention to things like this in our history because it proves to us countless times and times again where individual votes shaped history and changed so many lives. And let's think about this. If one person thinks that their vote doesn't matter, that is a problem. But if 10,000 people are thinking the same thing, or 20,000 or 100,000, then we are leaving out even more voices from our conversation, and we aren't getting represented as well within our own government. Now that I've talked to you about why your individual vote holds so much weight, I'm going to be talking to you about how it's even important to vote and participate at a local level. According to Legal Clarity in August of 2025, your community could be directly impacted by your local voting, and that local voting was almost as important as nationally voting. Things like public transportation, how your money's being allocated, things like that are going to directly impact your community and your life can be decided by locally voting. And how civically being engaged within a local level can not just impact you or have your voice heard, but have your peers be heard, your community be heard. And it's a great way to directly have your voice heard by the people representing you within your own town or your city. Today, I've talked to you about 3 reasons why you should vote. First, I talked about how important it is that every group of people has their voice heard and votes. Then I talked about how Your individual vote holds so much power and weight, and that's another reason why you should vote. And lastly, I talked about how being engaged civically on a local level and voting is incredibly important as it directly impacts your community. So the next time that there is an election, whether it's at a local level, a state level, or even nationally, use your power to vote and understand that your voice matters.